La noche se acabó, pero tengo otra día contigo. Le doy gracias a Dios, siempre pasándolo contigo en la playa, devorarte como el sol en la mañana, viajando todo el día sin drama, solo tú y yo, un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot pa' ti, un shot pa' mí, un shot, un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot pa' ti, un shot pa' mí, un shot. Siempre lo pasamos bien lindo, lindo. Un verano contigo lindo, lindo. Ey. Me fui de vacaciones, baby, me perdí, buscando el sabor que encontré en ti. Canela con dolor de Bacardi, lo sentí, baby, me tiene desenfocado, viendo doble, bien borracho, demasiado jodido. Devorarte como el sol de la mañana, viajando todo el día sin drama. Tú y yo, un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot pa' ti, un shot pa' mí, un shot. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot pa' ti, un shot pa' mí, un shot. Un día bonito, bonito, un día bonito, bonito. Pasándolo contigo en la playa, devorarte como el sol de la mañana, viajando todo el día sin drama, solo tú y yo. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot pa' ti, un shot pa' mí, un shot. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot pa' ti, un shot pa' mí, un shot. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot pa' ti, un shot pa' mí, un shot.
Hello, everyone. Thumbs up, please, and hit that subscribe button. I have a lot to discuss today because, in the last 24 hours, more details have emerged about Dr. Sophie Hammerhead, Chandauka'S, OBEMBE, OBGYN. Remember when I said yesterday that we were going to start hearing that she has a shady past and that this isn't the first time she's behaved like this? My new theory is that this lady was running out of coins and she needed to find a way to get some extra cash in her pocket. Because now some interesting details have come out about another organization that she actually owns. Vera, her karma will be ruthless. Indeed, it will. Black Queen, you said, looking closer at her, you can depict a sense of messiness oozing from her pores. I'll do whatever it takes to belong. Indeed. Or in this case, I'll do whatever it takes to get what I want. Her body language, like when you look at her body language now, you can see messiness. You can see it now. So let's get into it. We will get into it. A couple of things that I want to just get through first. Despite all of this, let's please just remember that we have got a lot of great things coming up. This is just yet another blip in the radar. We always get it every time. We've got some good things coming up. So it's just again, you know, same old, same old. Deep breaths, everybody. Let's just remember April is right around the corner. And may the A in April stand for approved, abundance, appointment, achievements, acceptance, adventures. And I'm also going to add anointment, because you cannot mess with anointed ones. There is lots of great stuff coming. So let's just remember all of that in the middle of this mess. Next, Meghan's influence and the sales that are coming from a lot of the items that she used or wore in with Love Meghan. So Ola Johnson, this dress that she wore, stunning blue dress, it's $950. The promo of this dress, her wearing it, led to over 1,000 people signing up for the waitlist, and that's just the ones who signed up for the waitlist. 1,000 times 950. Do the math, y'all. Do the math. The blue salt top that she wore, they sold over 300 shirts in one day. Quote from founder and CEO Lindy Benson, she's in a league of her own. Indeed. Do you know how much ad spend you'd have to spend just to sell 300 shirts in a day? Jenny Kane, 395 stripe-based sweater, sold out. Also, the Crocs Meghan wore. So this is a slightly cheaper item, $40. Searches for the shoes increased by 70%. And remember, it's not just the items that Meghan wears. Anything that looks similar to it starts selling out as well. Especially because a lot of the stuff she wears is very easy to replicate. Ling, the jeans that Meghan wore, sold over 500 pairs in 2 weeks. A quote from the founder, Holly Howard, said, "The brand had sent the jeans to Meghan, and after the episode dropped, the company sold over 500 pairs of the pants in about 2 weeks." Can somebody please tell us how we can actually send stuff to Meghan? How? How? Like, how? This isn't actually the first brand I've heard say this. Like, I've heard, maybe this is the second or third brand, or we reached out, or we emailed them. Like, should we just try to hook up Squiddy Hooks? Just like randomly try it. I don't know. Meghan@archwell.com, or just see if we get a response. Like, how are these brands actually getting in contact with her? We're actually managing to send her things. I guess there has to be like some way of contacting her PR people. I feel like we need to get Squiddy Hooks in there. Anyway, Meghan's impact's being felt. And also, somebody made a very good point about the shop. Was it Shop Me or Shop My affiliate link storefront that Meghan set up? That's actually going to be a great way, aside from getting commission. That's actually going to be a great way of measuring her impact herself. So that if she does do any brand collaborations, if she does want to, go to investors, she has all of that data. Like, do you know how powerful that is? If she really wants to go full speed ahead, and it seems like that's where we're going, and get major investment, those millions will come thick and fast. Nobody else has this impact right now. Also, our good friend Ava, Squaddy Ava, she's dropped her second video in her Meghan series, and this one is a doozy. This one is about the whole copycat thing, but she kind of combines it with the topic of mirroring and like monitoring spirits, and why it is that your haters copy you even when they hate you. So definitely go and check that out. I'll put the link here. That's Ava Become That Girl Society. Make sure you go and subscribe. Like this, I actually think that this episode was better than the first one. And I've seen a couple of TikToks, and she does include some TikToks like in this, but she goes into a lot more detail than like a 2-3 minute video on TikTok, and kind of like manages to spin it with a life lesson as well. So brilliant. There's actually, I think initially she said that there was going to be 5 in the series, but there's actually going to be 7. So, and thank you to everybody who has gone and subscribed and left a comment. Have a look. You're saying Antoinette and Meghan had those deals before marrying Harry and put it all on hold for Harry. Exactly. She was actually getting deals. That's another thing. With her 3 million followers on Instagram, she was getting deals. She had the clothing line with Reitman. She had endorsement deals. She was doing ads. She also had. She was a spokesperson for Wella Hair, a big hair and beauty company. Oi. Okay. Next thing. Right, let's get to it. Let's get to the main story of the day. Small stories done. This squaddy posting on Twitter. No one warned Dr. Hammerhead that the Sussex squad do more digging than mindless FBI CIA don't even come close. I'm loving all the receipts that are surfacing. Madam educated black women might have miscalculated this one. Yeah. You know, black women face so much in corporate settings, in the workplace, and for her to weaponize, and women in general also face a lot of misogyny. So for her to weaponize misogyny and misogynoir, only for it to come out that she is clearly the problem, I think is absolutely heinous and actually an insult to women and black women who regularly put up with this in the workplace. So where are we now in terms of all of this? Well, a new set of people are on the board of trustees. This is from the official Companies House website. So Sophie Tendai, she's still there as the chair. Chandauka'S, MBE, OBE, OBGYN. Dr. Bhakti Hansotti, Dr. Margaret Ikpo, Narissa Naidu, and David Ian Rawlinson. Him especially, we're going to focus on him in a second. But there is a new set of trustees. And let me just say, I think every single one of these people is an idiot for joining. Before we even get to the bottom of what happened, I think it also just shows you how desperate some of these people are for titles. I know a lot of people who work in these philanthropic circles, who work in healthcare. So sometimes they sit on different boards, sometimes it's voluntary, sometimes it's trustees. There is a culture of title grabbing, and I'm the chairman of this, and I sit on the board of this. And a lot of these people, it's like they're chasing titles a lot of the time. They don't necessarily even care about the organization at hand. For them, they get to travel a lot, they get the prestige of the title. And I think these individuals who have jumped on this without really, full investigation and full idea of what this woman is up to, I think they're very naive and silly. I think Sophie herself is one of these people. She is a title chaser, for sure. But we now have a new board. This is a new one. This was the old one. Timothy, Mark, Audrey, Kololo. He actually spoke to Sky News today. and denied Sophie's allegations. But let's have a look at this David Rawlinson. That's him. So that's his picture from the Sentebale website, because initially we weren't too sure if it was the same guy. But that's his picture from the Sentebale website. Same picture in his LinkedIn profile. And the first thing, volunteering, trustee, 2002 to 2013, chairman, 2004 to 2013, honorary vice president, chair of development board, 2014 to 2021 of what? The Tusk Association. Who's a royal patron for the Tusk Association? William. William is the royal patron for the Tusk Association. Now, there's been a lot of back and forth about whether or not the royals have anything to do with all of this mess. I think that's still a bit up in the air, because Sophie herself has a vested interest in the money in Sentebale, and we'll get on to that in a minute. But at the very least, it is very suspicious that this Ian Rawlinson would be chosen to be one of the trustees when he is at least linked to an organization that William is a patron of. I find it very shady that Dr. Hammerhead would choose this guy of all the people. Another thing is that one of her complaints in her statement was that there weren't enough Africans involved, and that it was too like Western centric and all of that. I don't think any of these people live in Southern Africa. There's only one black woman there, and she's from. If anybody know Ikpo, does anybody know where that surname is from? This lady clearly is not interested in helping who this organization is meant to help. She has her own agenda. And her words in her original statement were one of the dead giveaways. So now we have this from the Telegraph. Prince Harry and his polo chums need to get back in the saddle. His charity mustn't fall prey to decolonization. Now, two things about this. Number one, this is clearly, and I mean, you're going to see when I read the article, the Telegraph and the press have now, I think they have now figured out that Sophie is a liar. That's the first thing. Secondly, very shady to use a term like mustn't fall prey to decolonization. Like, they still had to kind of find a way of making a dig. But it's very clear that they can see that this Sophie woman is a liar. It's also come out now, allegedly, that Sophie wanted a 300k salary for her unpaid voluntary position. And that's partly what prompted the trustees to ask her to step down. The audacity, the absolute audacity to ask for 300k for a position that was meant to be voluntary, and for a charity where that money is meant to be going to vulnerable people and children. The absolute audacity. I don't even know what to say to that. If this is true, I hope she is ready for the karma that is about to come down on her, because the mess she has caused. And people like this just confuse me, because they've already gotten themselves in an incredible position. I mean, she's sitting next to Prince Harry on this incredible organization that has an amazing reputation. Just her being on this board alone, what it does for her CV, the connections it can get her, what she could even build on her own, if she wanted to leave Sentebale, or what she could have built with Sentebale, she'd been honest, is incredible. But this is what happens when you have no vision and just greed. I'm not surprised she has a history of being involved in hostile takeovers. I said this in my last podcast. There are some people who have a CV longer than your monthly grocery list. All these corporate companies that they've been to, they are title collectors. And a lot of the times, it's not necessarily because they were good at their jobs, they just had slick mouths, they were good talkers. And they leave this toxic trail behind them. And people are often scared to speak out. On paper, they look like they have this incredible CV. So let's get into this article from the Telegraph, because just wow. You haven't even heard the half of it yet. The 300k, the audacity is just the beginning. Miss Hammerhead here has some skeletons in her closet. So, polo players of the world, harness your steeds. I want to first of all just apologize for the writing of these so-called journalists. These people really think they're writing Shakespearean, just glorious Shakespearean writing. They don't realize how ridiculous they sound. Anyway, polo players of the world, harness your steeds and saddle up. Thousands of children with HIV in Africa need your help, even if you are mostly posh, rich, and white. This week, it emerged that Sentebale, a charity set up by Prince Harry and Prince Yiso of Lesotho back in 2006, is on the brink. Its trustees have stepped down en masse, as have its patrons, following a reverse takeover by the organization's recently appointed chair. Again, just having to take digs for no darn reason over what is a serious issue. The charity is small but important. It does life-saving work in an area of the world where HIV/AIDS epidemic is still raging. In the tiny state of Lesotho alone, more than 37,000 children are estimated to be living with HIV, many unaware of their condition. Sentebale works gently with them to break down fear and stigma and encourage testing and treatment. Can I also just say, because I want to address the snark at the beginning of this article, nobody is saying that it is a bad thing if Westerners donate to these charities, as long as there is a sense of, I think, awareness and sensitivity, and we have more, local engagement. Nobody's saying it's necessarily a bad thing for anybody who wants to be generous to donate to a charity. Nobody is saying that. So the two, okay, so it goes on about like why Sentebale was started. So insiders say the new chair of the charity, Sophie Chandauka'S, sought to decolonize the organization, moving it away from fundraising via celebrity polo matches and the like, but without first establishing alternatives. This exactly. Why were alternatives not established first? You don't stop what's working without replacing it with something else first. And even then, why even replace it? Why not just add to what you're already doing and what's already working? A hefty bill for consultants said to be in the region of 500 to 600,000, a failed bid to bring in replacement donors from the US, and an alleged request by Ms. Chanduka for 300k salary for her unpaid position prompted the trustees to ask her to step down. She refused, accusing the charity of poor governance. Weak executive management, abuse of power, bullying, harassment, misogyny, and misogynoir, sparking this week's walkout by Prince Harry and leaving the charity's future looking very dim indeed. There's something that I actually need to read, because even I was a bit unsure about this. Rebecca, I'm so sorry. Let me just find this. Okay, so yeah, from Rebecca Sussex, she said this. Oh gosh, it's just disappeared. Where has it gone now? Where has it gone? Oh gosh, what have I done? Give me one sec, folks. Give me one sec. Um, okay. Also, I think some people are getting muddled. Harry was not a board member and or trustee of the charity's board. He just served as patron. Him and Princey so resigned from their patron roles in solidarity with the trustees. So Harry wouldn't have been on board calls and if he was selective. So that's another important thing. And then probably why maybe certain things didn't get flagged earlier. Although I do think we need to know exactly who it is that hired this lady and what checks were done on her background, because she definitely had some dirty laundry hanging out in the air for everyone to see before she even came to Sentebale. Somebody didn't do their checks. Okay, so several senior insiders have said that they witnessed no hint of abuse or racism. Claims of misogynoir, it seems, are at the intersection of gibberish and claptrap. For the chair of a charity to refuse to step down, having lost confidence in its long serving trustees and patrons, is bizarre. But there again, Miss Chandauka'S is not everything she seems. She, yes, she worked briefly for Meta, the owner of Facebook and Instagram, and for a longer period as a senior executive at the financial services firm Morgan Stanley. But the honorific of doctor she uses is not an earned medical or academic title. So she's not like actually a doctor. Instead, it derives from an honorary doctorate in business administration awarded to her by the University of Coventry in 2023, seemingly in recognition of her diversity campaigning. The London-based Black British Business Awards Limited, which she co-founded and which explains the MBE she was awarded in 2021 for services to diversity in business, is also struggling. And Ms. Chandauka'S resigned as director in June last year. So this is where it gets interesting. So she resigned as director in June last year of this organization that she co-founded. Are you ready for the next part? The company is in deficit to the tune of £387,000, of which 197,000 is owed to the taxman. My friends, let me say that again. The company is in deficit to the tune of £387,000, of which 197,000 is owed to the taxman. Whether it is also insolvent depends on who the 464,000 other creditors are in note of 7 of the accounts, a senior accountant tells me. If it is the bank, they are in trouble. And Ms. Chandauka'S US company, the Delaware registered Nadi Life Sciences, may also turn out to be a triumph of style over substance. She describes it on her LinkedIn profile as a US based company creation vehicle with a portfolio of companies that have collectively raised over 50 million since October 2023. How is that possible when this lady is out here messing up less money than that? She can't even fundraise for Sentebale. That is a maybe, but the Delaware based firm was set up only 2 years ago and has not yet published any information I can find regarding capital raise, income, or even clients. This lady is cooked. She's cooked. I think we're going to find out a lot more about Sophie Hammerhead. We're not calling her doctor anymore. I mean, to put such a bold statement on your LinkedIn profile that she has a company creation vehicle with a portfolio that has collectively raised over $50 million since 2023. And you can't find any information on this? And yet, Miss Chandauka'S is not alone. She's not the first globe-trotting charity boss to turn away from the sort of fundraising that celebrity polo matches and red nose they bring, deeming it a little patronizing and old hat. But let's not lose sight of the main goal: to enhance the lives of those whose these charities exist to serve. With America, Britain, and many other countries lashing their aid budgets, the need for cash has never been greater. Modelling published in The Lancet this week suggests there will be between 4.4 to 10 million additional new HIV infections by the end of this decade in low and middle income countries, unless the funding shortfall left by the US aid can be filled. Ms. Chanduka should gracefully accept she got her timing wrong and step aside, allowing Sentebale's original trustees and patrons to return. Prince Harry, meanwhile, should step back into the breach and sound the horn, or whatever one does to summon the polo chums. They have a lot of fundraising to do for those kids. Ms. Chanduka has been approached for comment. Well, obviously she hasn't responded. I mean, you know, from Chanduka's side, this is just evil. This is just evil. You know, I have no doubt that they will be able to get some money to the beneficiaries. Doesn't necessarily have to be through, you know, Sentebale. But really, just wow. Okay, let me get through your comments because there are a lot. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, Higley, she wasn't properly vetted. I mean, verdict is still out about whether or not you know, anyone from KP is involved. But it seemed like she has her own vested interest because she needs money. Lulu, you said, look at Sophie's dress, same color and similar style to what Meghan wore that day. I clocked it at the time and thought it was deliberate. I mean, she wouldn't have known exactly what Meghan was wearing that day. Maybe a similar style, but it was more her attitude. Like, you could see her attitude that day. And, you know, clearly there was tensions even before this day. Antoinette, I hope she doesn't have access to the funds before they appear in court. Yeah, no soul to defraud those kids. Tristan Charles, interesting. Her picture is twice the size of everyone else. Nevertheless, seems strange she could appoint a whole board by herself. I'm wondering if one of those new trustees may have been working with her, in cahoots with her. Interesting. One of them, the one on the left of Sophie, but just underneath her in the blue with the short hair. A squaddy tried to tweet her, and she then blocked that squaddy when she asked her, "Why have you joined the board of trustees?" She blocked her. I'm wondering if one of these people was involved, because, like I said, for a lot of these people, being in all this humanitarian work, for a lot of them, it's just about the titles. My. I think a lot more is going to come out. Now really makes you raise your eyebrow about Invictus. I mean, in the end, I think the last 3 cities were like Birmingham, New York, and Washington. Now, you definitely don't want to hold it in the US at this point with what's going on. You don't want to hold it in the US. But could they change the location last minute? And now I'm wondering, why was there a push for Birmingham in the first place? Sorry, I had to drink some water there. Sonia, you said, I think they're after Invictus too. I wouldn't be surprised. Janae, you said William said Africa was his, and my guess is this is his help to get it. I don't know. Rahini, I will listen to your message tomorrow morning. Sorry. You know, it's actually like coming to 2 a.m. in the morning in the UK. I should be asleep. But I was like, I just have to do a podcast now. You said, I guess Sentebale will no longer get Sussex Court donations. No, definitely not for now. If they regroup as another organization, that would be fine. If anything, I think the beneficiaries who are getting the money, couldn't they just start like another shell under Archwell? I mean, Archwell gives to different organizations anyway. My gosh. Sony, you said, Anne, I have never seen pictures of trustees at any of the charity events, polo matches, so it's strange how Sophie is in all of the pictures and always standing near Prince Harry. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're there. They just don't put themselves front and center the way she does. She was literally trying to get in the middle of Harry and Meghan. Oh, so that lady, Igpo is a Nigerian name. Okay. Thank you for clearing that up. Yeah, it's like the Black Lives Matter woman who stole the money to buy 4 homes. Yeah, I remember that. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people in these spaces that they're just using it to get money for themselves. They don't care about the causes. They don't care about the people. I mean, devastating for Prince Harry. But maybe something even bigger and better will come out after this, because the flip side of all of this is that the cause that Sentebale was supporting, I think has gotten so much press coverage now, and more people know um what Sentebale was doing and what it was about. And even outlets like the Telegraph, with all of their snark, make it a point to say this is an important cause. So the flip side to all of this is there's probably a hell of a lot more people that never knew about Sentebale before, never knew the initiatives that it was supporting, and they know now. So they can Prince Harry can regroup and maybe come out with something even better that has more support and awareness. Trying to find a silver lining. Benjamin, you said this is the same story of so many foundations in Africa. That's what's sad. And it has the name of a woman who stood for nothing but decency, run by her son Harry and Prince Isa, who meant well. Yes. A lot of people do use charity as a way of, gaining for themselves. Vera, you said it comes to my mind seeing her in that profile is the song Trust in Me from the Walt Disney the Jungle Book. Is that the song that the snake sings? Um she wanted her 15 minutes of fame. I wonder how much she got paid for her lies. I find it remarkable, and this is why people like this need to be checked early, because they end up just sabotaging themselves in the end. The audacity that she thought that she would actually get away with something like this. Perhaps if it was a charity or organization that wasn't linked to a high profile person like Harry, she may have actually gotten away with it. But the fact that Harry is linked to this, why did she think that she would get away with this? Mm-mm. Marjorie said, so Harry donated $1.5 million of his own money. She paid a consultant 600,000 and wants 300,000. That equals 900,000. Then by the time they pay all the employees, so there will be no money for the kids. Exactly. Exactly. Hmm. Dear oh dear. Dear oh dear. Rochelle, you said, and Sentebale was getting free HIV medicine from the UK and US, George Bush Jr. through both governments. That's very interesting. Listen, I think they will find a way. They will find a way. And you know, God watches everything. What was meant for the beneficiaries who are helped by Sentebale, they're going to get 2 times more after this. We don't always see what God's plan is, you know. And Louis, she said, this woman's agenda was to destroy an organization to engrace her ego. She was seen as an egoist who came through the back door. She should be investigated, and how long she stayed in any job. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Black Queen, you said, she just cooked her goose burnt to the crisp. She is so greedy for power and money. She didn't realize that she's still a black woman that they love to drag. Now they all have the fodder for her, indeed. Black Light, you said, honestly, I always felt that she was just trying to get to Harry, but that's just me. I mean, it was giving, I'm trying to steal your man, your man, your man, your man. Honestly, go watch that video. Maybe I'll play it tomorrow because I haven't actually played the video. But seriously, go and watch this video of her trying to get so close. And she's like dragging the cup to the other side. And it's just like, where are you taking it? If you want to hold the cup, then stand in the middle. Why was she going to Harry's side? What? Oh, like some women, I hate to say this, but they don't really have a lot of boundaries when it comes to like when it comes to someone else's man. Like, girl. And so comfortable in front of everyone too. Ugh. Honestly. Honestly. Yeah, the Sussex and detective agencies on the case. All will be revealed. As it usually is. As it usually is. Yeah, Petra. Someone needs to remind her that Duchess Meghan smashed the conveyor belt, honey. Duchess Meghan smashed the conveyor belts. Jesus. Donna, I wonder if Sophie was planning on using that small charity for money laundering. Yeah. It doesn't match her as somebody that came from big companies to come to a much smaller one and be playing around with money like this. South Korea is willing to upfront. Yes, they are, but I think it wasn't it for the Invictus after. Joan said she should not be able to hijack the name Sentebale. I also think it should be attached to Archwell. Oh, we'll see. And Louis, she said all those new trustees were suddenly appointed suspicious, and also how Invictus Games got the contract. The intention is to take away all of Harry's profitable charity or projects. It's very nefarious indeed. Yeah. And actually, if you look at the dates, they were appointed 25th of March. So this was updated on the 25th of March, and it has to be the trustees or somebody on the board that updates it. There's an online portal actually that they manually go into and they update it. Very quick. Didn't waste any time. All right, I really do have to go to bed. You'll have a great day, but I'm sure Baron will be on very soon with some more details. I'm not going to play the music out, but I just wanted to get all the deets out. And then yeah, we'll see what tomorrow and the next few weeks bring, because there's got to be more to this story. But I am confident now that this Chanduka lady has been lying about a lot, and she will continue to be exposed. All right, folks. Ciao.